What's going on, everybody? Drive Time back at it again. So, I got to take a minute to talk about forging your network. It's something that I don't think people talk about very often at all, and I can tell because I see the way that people move and the way that people act and the success rate or lack thereof of people, and you can tell that it comes from they don't understand how to forge their own network. So what I mean by forging your network is, if you ever watch the TV show Forged and Fired, term a forge is where you put raw material, you break it down so you can mold it into something better. Your network of people around you should do that. For example, in the DJ space, I hang around people who have been doing it since before I was born. My entire lifespan, they've been at what I'm trying to get better at. So anytime I'm around them, it's a constant push to improve because I'm so far behind in the game of what they're doing. Even in this, just the whole social media thing, what most people don't know, I don't talk about like my whole family structure, but what most people don't know is there's about 4 people who I would consider my brothers. And of those 4, 3 of them are paid influencers or paid social media. Like they have paid accounts between YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever. 3 of the 4 get money doing this. So it's a constant push for me to keep up and get better and improve because of the proximity that I have to people who are successful in it. The same in dance. All my mentors were professionals, had champions, have well-known names. And I say all that to say, when you put yourself in that kind of environment, it forces you to do better. But what a lot of people do is they put themselves in like-minded, yes man, yes woman groupthinks to where they're perfectly capable and comfortable stagnating. That's why you see groups of people like the typical stereotypes that have truth to them, where the person who decides from the hood to read too many books is a nerd. I was called Figer when I was coming up because I like to wear a shirt and a tie, and I had an internship at Ford Motor Company, so I got called Figer based on my first name, and because I would dress up. Meanwhile, I was getting called this by a dude who was dirty working at a pizza restaurant, and I worked at the pizza restaurant, but the difference between us was I was like 15. He was an adult. And there's nothing wrong with working in a fast food place or whatever. He was the manager. There's nothing wrong with it. But the thing is, I'm talking about discouraging somebody from trying to do something else. And the reason why people do that is because they don't like being left behind. It's the same mentality you get when you see parents that will say, I struggle. Some stuff you just got to go through. I never wanted my son to have the same struggles that I had. I don't want my daughter to have the same struggles that I had at all, because that's just not the way to do it. No culture but American culture does it, but that's a whole different conversation. The reason for this conversation is, once again, you have to learn how to forge the proper network, and that means you got to have people around you that will make you better. And what a lot of people do is they pick to be around people that make them feel good. They either want to be surrounded by people that they are better than so they can feel superior, or they want to be surrounded by people that are stagnant so that if they're stagnant, they won't be pressed to be stagnant. And the best example I can give is this. One of the best examples anyway. I was once listening to one of my mentors talk to his daughter, and he told her, you are starting to gain a little bit too much weight, and if you want to continue on in this dance thing, that's not gonna bode well for you. He's had a full-on accomplished career, been paid tons of money for it, been trained a whole bunch of other people who made tons of money from it, employed people himself. He knows exactly what he's talking about. But what happened was he said this in front of a group full of overweight moms. And they decided to all chime in with, you can't tell her that. That's not good for her self-esteem. She's fine the way she is. There's dancers that aren't skinny that still are successful. Meanwhile, they have never made a dime in the dance community. All they've done is spend money in it to put their kids in it, and maybe themselves, I don't know. They didn't want her to hear that information, because if it applied to her a little bit, it applied to them a lot. And this is what people will do in their social circles. They don't want to push people to move up, because if they see the people around them move up, then they got to move up too to keep up. And what I'm saying is do the opposite. I love the fact that like my brothers all got paid accounts and they all got subscribers and followers, because that means I got to work harder to keep up and catch up. I love the fact that all my mentors are way more booked and got way more experience in DJing, because it means I got to set up my equipment and practice more. I love the fact that all of my mentors have been in dance longer, because I can sit and chop it up with them and I'm gaining something from it and learning all the time. I love the fact that my son is like catching up and bypassing me. Like the trajectory on that my son is on in comparison to what I was on is astronomically different, and I think it's fantastic, because being around people like that is what makes you better. And a lot of people are comfortable in just standing still. So when I say forge a network, I'm saying you got to forge a network of people that's going to force you to be better. That's where the phrase iron sharpens iron comes from. Because you're not going to sharpen a knife with some garbage metal. Good metal needs good metal to sharpen it. And so if you want to sharpen yourself, you got to be around good metal. Iron sharpens iron is the way the phrase goes. And it just means the stronger, the harder, the better that particular mineral is. The stronger, the harder, the better the mineral that is needed to form it out to make it better. Because if not, one will just cancel the other one out. So that's my piece on that. I had a catalyst that made me want to talk about it when I was watching a video earlier. And like I said, iron sharpens iron. Forge your network. Get around people that's going to make you better. Don't stand still, and don't let the people around you do it either.